Josie
hard.
Damn, Josie.
I was gonna. What do you want me to beat around the bush, especially with you three?
No comment. I'm gonna play the passive aggressive card.
Feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity, but I just slide right by that energy. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. You got a mind, but even that could change. You could flip the gray matter like some batter in your brain. That's why they say, fake it till you make it A. And if you play that game, then you just might make a change. Rearrange all the bad to okay. Take the worst thoughts saying, turn them to a game. Take the best thoughts saying, put them on display. On repeat in your brain till you're feeling no more pain. Never slow yourself down, you can do some more. Push past all the pain and you'll find a door. Open it up and finally explore everything that you thought you could never do before. And even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yo, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a slave. I've been doing shit my way, or the highway. And in the driveway is a nice range. Cause I grind through the climb, I invite pain. You'll never hear me, bitch, nah, I don't complain. Just gotta flip the switch and you can go and obtain anything you want, anything you need. Your mind's got the key ingredient, it's belief. They'll deceive with the negativity.
Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to another exciting edition of the Sports Report Podcast. I'm your host, Mr. William D. Morgan. Got a cast of thousands with me today, and we got a lot to go over. All this craziness that's gone down in the NFL. We got some John Morant news. We're going to talk some pro wrestling. We got a lot to go down right here on the Sports Report tonight. All right, let me go ahead and start bringing folks in first. Then we'll bring the person who runs this verified network. Josie, what's up?
Out here rapping that DR for that baseball classic, man. You know, the U.S. kind of sucks.
I'm gonna get you.
I got to support my boy Pena.
I'm gonna get you and Seven to talk more about that as we go on with the show. And speaking of Seven, let's go ahead and bring him up right now. Seven, what's up?
Yes, Team USA may not be off to the best start. Currently sitting at 1-1 in the World Baseball Classic, but I'm more flabbergasted by the fact that Puerto Rico just threw the first perfect game in World Baseball Classic history today. A combined perfect game, allowing 0 base runners.
How many pitchers?
4. And they won the game 10-0.
Damn.
100% of the offense in their game today by Puerto Rico. That's just ridiculous.
I'm telling you, if I was a betting man, which I'm not, that's Dan. But if I was a betting person, I would have put money on DR to Puerto Rico to be the finals of this. Like, I don't, even though Italy with their Nespresso machine in the dugout got me.
What made you think that about the Dominican Republic? Hello. Hi, guys.
Those are stacked teams. They're both stacked teams.
Do you think they might be pretty good? Did you see their lineup before they started? That it was like the all-star teams, all those guys. It's pretty much like every one of those dudes was on their team. They were stacked up. But it's baseball too, though. All these guys are skilled, and it's baseball. So games can go one way. You're not going to go undefeated most of the time, right? So if you were betting,
those two teams, PR and DR, have a chance. They could.
If the DR doesn't win the World Baseball Classic, I'll be very surprised. Like I'll be pretty shocked. Actually, they're dirty good, very deep.
I mean, they got everything: skilled veterans, rookies coming off fantastic seasons, and Jeremy Pena. Like they've got everything.
Fucking Homer.
All right, let's go.
You wouldn't even have been. No, go ahead.
All right,
wouldn't even have cared.
Let's go ahead and get into some of this NFL action we had go down today. Not gonna cover. Only gonna cover the big stuff. Not gonna cover every small little thing. I just want to say real quick, shout out to the Falcons for doing a lot of work. They did like 4 free agent signings. Well, I think it was 3 free agent signings, and they re-up with one of their own. So shout out to the Falcons for doing work today.
You're gonna let me do your intro, or are you just gonna start talking?
Oh, do my intro for him. I appreciate it. All right.
Before we dive into this,
sure.
As y'all know, I like to get these discussions going and play these games. So, out of who's left in free agency, who is your golden goose? Who do you think is got the potential to be that game changer for a team?
I like the thought of Darius Slay in Kansas City. I'm not gonna.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna say that.
I can't believe Philly put him on the block. That's the thing that got me. I can't believe they let him go.
I didn't think Darius Slay would be available.
Me either. I was shocked by that.
An MLS champion recruiter for the Kansas City Chiefs on Twitter is already trying to put the word out. I appreciate that. MBS.
You get Darius Slay. You need to make that happen quick, fast, and in a hurry.
I wonder about that deal with what's his name today is going to do to that. But
Patrick Peterson.
No, the guy that Kansas City signed.
Okay, the offensive lineman. Yeah.
Which a signing that Seven's actually not happy about for Kansas City.
Isn't it like Jawan Taylor?
Yeah, Jawan Taylor. So here's my thing. This is another guy that's going to be moved into that blindside tackle position from the opposite side. Okay. My thing is, why does Brett Veach keep doing this? Why is he doing this again? Because Orlando Brown, don't get me wrong, Orlando Brown was much better in the second half of the season, and he allowed 0 sacks in the Super Bowl. But we needed to upgrade in that position because Orlando Brown was not what he wanted to be paid for.
7, you owe Orlando Brown an apology. You owe Orlando Brown an apology on the show right now. I think you should tell him you're sorry because you put that dude under at the beginning of last year. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about, don't you?
No, you're right.
He was killing this motherfucker, putting up some memes about him going through a fucking turnstile or some shit.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, you killed this motherfucker.
He earned those memes. And he did.
I don't think that he did. I said the whole time I didn't think that he did. Like, I think you were just taking it out on him.
He did improve over the second half of the season, and I will acknowledge he allowed 0 sacks in the Super Bowl. So I will say he got better, but
Juwan Taylor's
he did not deserve to be paid top dollar for his position. He just didn't. I can see the justification that Juwan Taylor is an improvement over Orlando Brown. So I'm not going to minimize that. But my question is, why are we not making the move to get somebody that is already at that position and skilled rather than continuing to risk the best goddamn quarterback in the NFL?
What is your previous Juwan Taylor knowledge at this point?
I know that he is young, and I tried to do some research on him earlier, but that's a problem with linemen is it's hard to get stats. It's stats and linemen offensive linemen don't really meld. So I understand that, and I know Brett Veach is great at what he does. But Brett Veach does also sometimes get it wrong. And so my question is more, why are we not getting somebody that's actually proven at that position than somebody that looks good in another position that could move into that role? That's my question. That's really my issue with this move, is because like Taylor Lewan is available.
Ooh.
Yeah, just got.
And I'm not.
He's pretty old, bro.
But he's older. There's obviously some injury risk because he's going to be coming off of an injury,
ACL,
an ACL injury at that, which as a lineman isn't as bad as if you're in a skill position. Like, let's all remember that here. Like, an ACL injury is bad for any athlete, but for a lineman, it's not as big of a deal as, say, Zeke basically being done after he tore his.
Right.
Dak not being as mobile after his. Like, these are there's a difference there. So, and I would also say, money wise, Taylor was probably cheaper than Juwan Taylor was.
Oh, for sure.
So,
yeah.
Luan knew he was getting cut.
He was talking about it
2 weeks
at the end
prior.
of the season. Yeah. He's known for months. He's been talking about it.
That was happening. He has no ill will towards the Titans. He talked about it on the Boys podcast this past week.
Multiple times. Multiple times he talked about it. And I like busting with the boys, by the way.
I love busting with the boys. I gotta give my shout out. I've watched every episode last week of Pat McAfee. And I got to give it to that motherfucker. He puts on a great motherfucking show and so much.
He's an entertainer.
Oh, my God.
He's definitely an entertainer.
And last week he had Pac-Man on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Pac needs to be on a show. The man is smart. He's got some football.
El Presidentris, send Pac-Man a message. Send him our comp package. See if he's interested.
Yes.
Hey,
so this is what I want to discuss. I want to get.
He's taking over the NFL from Will.
I want to know, why is this the move that Veach goes with over grabbing somebody that is proven at the position? Dan?
Brett Veach definitely. Brett Veach definitely likes to watch his offensive linemen, especially tackles, in pajamas. He likes to watch them in shorts and wearing some good silk, and they're just out there doing their step backs. Like, what is it? I got my headphones on, so I can't do it with the right? That kind of stuff. He loves it when they're like 6'8", 315, just athletic. They look like tight ends. And he's like, he just loves it, dude. He eats it up. And Veach is awesome, but everybody has weaknesses. And that's one of his. Look at it. Look at it. You had Eric what was it?
Eric Fisher.
There you go. Eric Fisher. How'd he do? Yeah. He's not, I don't think he plays anymore. No, he was all right for a second. He was a serviceable right tackle.
He got moved to Jacksonville.
He was serviceable. He was a
serviceable right tackle, but Veach took him very high, very, very high, too high.
Yes.
So I mean, he has a history. He has a history of it. Yeah, it was like number 2 overall.
Yeah, took him in first round. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So So that's not that kind of production
only
you
thing I
want.
can
It's number
say,
2
though,
overall pick.
The only thing I can say though, why he probably chose old boy because youth.
Yeah, because
Somebody-
he's
so-
26. He's
somebody who
26.
could grow, somebody who can grow into the position, somebody can be there. Injury risk is going to be with any player, so that's going to be any player regardless. So if you go on the youth movement and trying to save a little bit of money, I can see it.
But is that contract really saving money? Because I mean,
Really, when you
it's
think about it.
20
I
million.
mean,
a
it's
year.
friendly, but
I got a different opinion. I think
Josie?
it's more he's wanting to train his own. They're wanting to take a guy who's not been in that position and teach them their way for that position.
and plus he has a whole training camp with him.
And he has a whole not just OTAs are about
Got
to
an
be starting.
OTAs whole training camp with him. Mm-hmm.
Also, Jacksonville's starting left tackle is Cam Robinson. He's one of the premier, probably top 3 left tackles in football. So the reason Juwan Taylor wasn't starting at left tackle was because they have Cam Robinson, who's a fucking stud.
Cam Robinson,
Who's out for the season, by the way.
And
Cam Robinson's a stud.
You got to look at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is set up to be one of the teams we're talking about all season.
And don't
They're going to
forget,
be fucking
and-
nasty this year.
and when you bring up Jacksonville, don't forget your boy Calvin Ridley
Is back.
is back.
He's-
Don't forget.
He is
Back
good. Did you
and
see
got
that
a
letter he
major
posted?
chip
Yep,
on
yep.
that shoulder.
You know he got a chip on both shoulders. Heck, yeah.
That's that. Man, Calvin Ridley. I hope. I'm gonna say it like this. I hope he blows everybody out of the water this year.
That was some bullshit. He
I'm betting on
suspended
it.
for.
And I agree. I don't think he should have been suspended. But if you read that letter that he posted, I think it's a part of his reinstatement. Like he makes it clear, just like we suspected the whole time, he never bet with any inside knowledge. He wasn't talking to anybody with the team. So why was he punished to begin with?
Right.
I
love
appreciate
how-
that he had stepped away to get help, but he didn't do anything wrong.
Pat
Right.
actually talked about this last week on their show. He said it was more an example type thing. He was used as an example because especially now it looks like the NFL is going to start adopting some form of live sports betting in the next couple of
This
seasons.
is true. This is true.
But-
I mean, the WWE is in talks right now to open up live sports betting.
Mm-hmm. On some predetermined
Okay,
shit.
come on.
On some
Yes.
predetermined shit.
Yeah.
That's some
No.
bullshit.
No.
That's the bullshit.
I mean, matches are
No.
still matches
You
are
putting
bet
on
on
predetermined
every-
shit.
I mean,
Hey,
the bets have been open for WrestleMania for like 2 months already.
that's crazy.
So gambling on wrestling is a thing, but yeah, I read it
How you gonna
several
gamble on
articles
some-
this past
How you
week.
gonna-
That they are in talks with I think FanDuel and maybe another one to bring live sports
It might be
betting. And they've been
DraftKings.
testing the waters for years. They've been doing those contests with FanDuel and
Might be
That is-
DraftKings too.
That has insider trading written all over it.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was just saying.
Hell
what
yeah.
they were
Dan,
talking about in the article was what bad beats are gonna start being a huge thing. Like
Dan, I'm gonna
That's crazy.
tell you that there are times where you or I have been talking about bets and have openly thought of very stupid shit to bet on.
Yeah.
I feel so much better about every single one of those conversations and considerations because there are going to be people that actually think it's a good idea to bet on a predetermined
That's what I'm saying.
wrestling
That's some
match.
and mind
predetermined
you,
shit.
and mind you, 3 of the 4 people here are wrestling fans.
Predetermined shit. How you gonna put money on predetermined shit?
Oh my god.
How? You
Well,
gonna put?
again, like I said, Will, gambling on wrestling is not a new thing.
I know it's not new, but I'm
It's
just
the
saying
live betting.
because now what's going to end up happening? A, like Dan said, insider knowledge, and B, it's not going to be like the
Well,
little man putting up a little bit.
Supposedly, what WWE has said to the books is
Mhm.
that they will start doing it to where opponents don't find out who's winning until right before the match.
Mhm.
And the only people that will have that information is Triple H and a producer.
But see, my thing is though, you're betting more because now everyone knows about it. The amount of your bet's gonna get bigger. And it's just crazy to me.
That whole production team knows, by the way, too.
Yeah,
the whole production team knows too.
Know.
They don't have to know.
But
They will.
Here's the thing. Even if
Ref doesn't have to know. Will we know for a fact that there has been matches that refs have refed?
But we've also seen, but we've also seen matches. Example, Ken Shamrock, Triple H, that the ref did know, and this is crazy to me.
I honestly believe that would stop. I think the ref would find out in his earpiece during the match.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
To go take who's going over.
Right. That would make sense.
Hold on. I understand that I'm a bit more of an old school fan than off of what we get off of the modern performance. But why are we going to put these performers in a position where they don't get to, I mean, they're not, how can you practice not without knowing? Because knowing gives you the ability to completely have an understanding of what's going to happen in the fight, and obviously you can kind of improvise some in it. But how can you more appropriately practice?
I see your point, because how can you practice the finish if you don't know?
100%. I'm agreeing with Seven.
I finish if you don't know.
Yeah, he articulated it better than I think I could. But basically, like if they're within the match, that actually makes the whole match if they know which one's going to win. You know what I'm saying? Like they can act that differently. Like that's a different performance. It's a whole different performance than if they don't know the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then it becomes like, oh, at the end we know, or like, you know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
it's just what Josie is saying.
The performers would find out right before their match.
Right before the match would happen.
Before they go out.
But my thing is this: how are you going to reverse the finish? How are you going to rehearse the finish if you don't know?
That's how people get hurt, like legitimately hurt.
That's all I'm saying.
We've talked on multiple times. One of the things that's wrong with WWE is they rehearse their matches too much.
Yeah,
we've talked on that multiple times.
Yeah, but in this case, you putting millions and millions of dollars.
I'm not necessarily saying it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea either. Yeah, but if it does happen, I don't see it lasting long.
No, that's dumber than betting that Dan can beat LeBron in a one-on-one.
I might be able to. I'll talk him into it. I might be able to talk him into it.
Dan has a 16.
Dude, let me just score.
Start.
Let me score once.
16.
Let me score once. Let me score one time.
What? They playing 21 and Dan got a 16-point head start?
Hey,
he's still gonna lose by 4.
If that ever happens, oh, bro, absolutely. It could be 20-0. It could be 20-0. Two-pointer ends it. All right. And I'm losing. I think I have to plead him into letting me shoot from outside at that point. Like I have to just like make a 30-footer. I gotta make a 30-footer.
We can talk about that more during wrestling. We were talking on betting, but
so I want to start the beginning of this whole thing this week. Jalen Ramsey gets traded to the Miami Dolphins. Now, that first of all, to me, and maybe it's just me, and Dan, feel free to say whatever. But to me, during the season, and maybe it was just a lack of motivation, but to me, Jalen Ramsey was getting cooked. He was getting cooked. He was getting cooked in the Super Bowl.
He does, dude. That's part of his game, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's part of his thing. Like he'll let people burn him, but he does it like very selectively. He's very smart about it. So what happens is when in big moments, he kind of gets to bait people a little bit. He's just baiting you. And in the NFL, nobody's good enough to bait people. Nobody. There's not one fucking defender in a secondary that is good enough to bait people. And so they have to guess. And Jalen Ramsey is a fucking freak. And he is almost good enough, but he's not. So he gets burnt all the time. And it's part of his thing, dude. Like, and that motherfucker is the best at like the ultimate cornerback attribute is that you have to forget what just happened. It doesn't matter what just happened.
That's true.
Go every play, go every play and play your style the whole time. Dude, Jalen Ramsey I love Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey is a Hall of Famer at this point. Yeah. I think Jalen Ramsey is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Like I think he's already is. And he's like 28, something like that. So like
it's But I think that I think you touched on a piece of it that I think is the truth, because I think motivation was an issue last year, because
It could have been.
look at what the Rams went through last year as a team.
Yeah.
And obviously with the pros, and it matters in any team sport, but with professional sports especially, the environment of the team matters.
True.
And
So much.
this is so fucking much. And so for Jalen Ramsey, I think this is great, because I think the culture in Miami is going to be much better for him. I think we get back more to what we expected out of J-Ram versus what we got last season. But you when you play as a defensive back, whether it's a corner or a safety, you're going to get cooked a lot. It's all about mindset. And that's why I think that that mindset played a part in this, because you can it's easy to say have a short-term memory when your team is consistently winning games. But when your offense is, very, very, very shitty.
Yeah.
Not good.
And the truth of, the weight of the season depends on how you guys do as a defense, and you just can't gel. It wears you down. Yeah. So I think it's good for J-Ram, and I think that the Dolphins fleece the Rams a little bit here.
So let me ask y'all this. He's going to a stacked defense with Xavier Howard, Bradley Chubb rushing the quarterback. Is this enough to put the Dolphins over the Bills in that division?
They got to figure out their QB position. They've got to figure out what's going on.
That's what I'm saying. I don't trust Tua to stay healthy.
Yeah.
They signed Sam Darnold.
I saw that.
No, they signed Mike White. Sam Darnold.
Oh, Mike White.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Darnold went to San Francisco.
The 49ers, which is
$17 million a year.
Which is laughable, but go ahead.
They signed
just play until Purdy is healthy. Jesus.
And Purdy said they said Purdy should be back to start the season. So I think that but
what's up with Trey Lance?
That was gonna be my
that's gonna be his thing.
But
it's pretty crazy.
With Mike White in Tampa, because they signed him. That was today, wasn't it? That was one of today's signings.
Oh, today, one of today's signings. What's up, Anthony Price? How you doing, man?
What's up, man? I think it's interesting, but they say that Tua is going to be ready. They say that he's going to be ready to go, and they're backing Tua. I think if they had less trust of Tua's development and how he was going to be for the start of the year, I don't think they signed Mike fucking White. I'm just saying.
Hey guys, hey Tony, I like Mike White.
I like Mike White too.
I like Mike White.
I do.
That actually works way better than I like Davis Mills. I like Mike White. It's it works so much better.
I like Mike White.
Like the shirt. I like Mike White. I mean, I like Mike. Duh. It's already written for us, guys.
All right, let's move on real quick. Jimmy Garoppolo signs to a 3-year, $67.5 million contract to be the starting quarterback for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, I was hoping he was coming to Houston.
That Italian bastard's perfect for the desert.
You guys are going to get CJ Stroud.
And be happy.
And you're going to have to hope to God that DeMeco Ryan can get him ready to be a pro quarterback in 2 months.
Do you think? Let me ask you a question.
Because we just signed Case motherfucking Keenum.
I don't think Carolina passes on Stroud. I really don't think they do.
You can't.
Actually,
I don't think you can, Will.
I don't think you can do it if you're in Carolina's spot.
I think from what I've heard, North Carolina is more interested in Andrew.
The coach wants CJ Stroud, but the general manager
wants Andrew.
Exactly. And that's the thing.
Florida.
What the heck?
The Florida quarterback.
I don't know. We just lost 7.
Yeah,
we got him back.
Okay, sorry.
And that's the thing with me, because when you in this position, you traded up 9 spots, gave up all those picks, gave up DJ Moore. You got to hit. And I just think CJ Stroud, bigger quarterback, bigger dude. Now, it might take him a minute to get acclimated, because it might take him a minute to get acclimated from Ohio State, because like Seven says, that's not a pro offense.
Anthony Richardson is the one I've heard, but I've heard a lot of people saying that as we get closer and these guys start to have their pro days, that Bryce Young is going to be back at the number 1 spot.
So
To me, he's too small.
Bryce Young is your kind of already established. If you have an already established team, you have an already established roster, and you're picking higher, that's more of a fit for the Bryce Young because he's ready to go, dude. You can plug him in.
I agree,
and
Anthony.
he's basically he's ready to go. What do you say?
Getting Stroud or Richardson, I agree.
That's so exactly because the Panthers have to make a splash. They have to make a high potential move,
You
right?
got
Because
to hit
that's
this.
you have to hit,
That's-
right? So they're gonna make it. They're gonna swing for the fences,
Mhm.
and the swing for the fences is C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson. And I think it's Anthony Richardson, and I think you should do it. I think you should just go for it because he has the highest upside.
I actually kind of agree with that, Seven. Dan, sorry. He had a
We look like
really good combine. From what I've heard, some of the best interviews in the combine the coaches have seen in years.
He's come up. He's come up the board a lot. So we'll see what they do with that.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. And there has been some stuff that I have seen where Carolina is heavily interested in Richardson.
Yeah.
So I'm honestly, I would expect him to go up a little higher, but if CJ Stroud is off the board, who does Houston pick?
I think as a Houston fan, think they're going to go with who's available. I think if Stroud's available, they go Stroud. If not, they go Richardson. Personally, I don't think Young comes up as much as people are saying because of what you said.
Too small.
Guys
Tiny.
like Kyler, guys like Tua
Too small,
haven't
man.
really helped the argument in a smaller QB can play in this league. Now they say I've heard a lot of conversations that Bryce is different. He's a different type of short QB. The issue I feel like no one talks about with short QBs is being able to see over the offensive line.
Exactly.
yeah,
You have to actually have them roll just like Kyler Murray.
yeah, dude.
You got to roll.
Yeah, I'm making
left.
jokes about that all the time.
roll
Like he was
right.
playing cherry bomb for that old game he used to play where you throw the ball up
Yep.
in the air.
Yep.
That's what he was playing. He was just doing the cherry bomb one where you throw it as high as you can and try and catch it. Like that's just what he does from behind the offensive line. He's like looking out. He has to find lanes all the time. Like there's always like a lane that he has to get into, and that's where his feet come in.
Dan,
Like it's just makes it so much harder.
It's
Denver in the
ridiculous
South.
for how much range he has, though, Kyler, as a quarterback. That's why I've advocated for him to get somebody that can better scheme that offense
Right.
because he would be. I don't think he's going to be a top 5 quarterback, but I think he could be top 10 if he has the right coach.
Bro,
True,
if
true,
Kyler Murray is 6'3", he's Josh Allen.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
He's basically like
Yeah,
if he's 6'3" to 6'4",
that's
he's
fair.
Josh Allen. Like he's that kind of like
Yeah.
he's that kind of good. And like
Let
freak talent for being 5'9" and playing quarterback, dude. That's crazy.
Let me ask you guys this: does Jimmy G help the Raiders at all this year? Because my thought process is this: yeah, he's got a good arm, but is he going to be able to stay healthy the whole season? That's my issue with Jimmy G.
Jimmy G is going to make or break Josh McDaniels' coaching career as a head
Mhm.
coach.
Agreed.
And
My
I think
thing
it's
is I feel like the Raiders are Jimmy G is a band-aid on their offense, but they still have other issues.
Oh, they ain't got a defense to speak of.
They got no defense. They
Nope.
don't have a whole lot of targets for Jimmy G. Their offensive line isn't
Well, I
fabulous.
ain't gonna say they don't have targets, but
I said they didn't have a lot of
Oh,
targets.
yeah.
They got two good
I
ones.
like what Anthony Price said here. They don't have a line to protect Jimmy G. And you think think Kansas City's defense is gonna not get better with some of the moves that Brett Veach is making on defense, they need to protect Jimmy G because otherwise Kansas City will break him, or Denver, who has a stout fucking defense, will
hell
rock
yeah.
his world.
Hell yeah.
Pat said it today when my boy Jason Kelsey re-signed, or not necessarily re-signed. He said he's coming back. He's technically a free agent, but it looks like he's going back to Philly.
Couple of things I want to go over real quick.
Hang on, wait, Will. I had a point.
Oh, go ahead. I do think.
He usually doesn't. We know. It's all right, Will. You assumed we shouldn't do that? Go ahead, Josie. Sorry.
A good O-line will make and break your entire team.
True.
Because even if you can shore up that O-line for the mediocre, okay, good teams, an elite level defense like San Francisco this past year will always find the weaknesses and tear that shit apart. Always.
On a long enough timeline for sure. Like, yeah.
It's just to me,
For sure.
would Jimmy G be able to stay upright? That's my thing. There's no backup quarterback to speak up behind him. You got Jacobs.
They're going to draft.
Go ahead, Will,
They're going to have to draft one. You got Jacobs behind him as a running back who had an amazing season last year. Got to give him that. You got Darren Waller who wasn't there half the season. Same thing. Hunter Renfrow wasn't there half the season. So and then the defense sucks. So they still got work to do.
I did want to tell you guys how excited I was when I saw Jimmy G and Vegas together. Like, think about that jawline and that tan. All right, on the Vegas Strip, he's got two women, both arms. Right, this is going to happen. This is going to happen on a nightly basis, and I'm hoping I see pictures of it. But just James bonding it around town, driving an Aston Martin and shit, like letting the chicks out of the door, gambling hundreds of thousands of dollars a night. That's what I want, Jimmy G. I want you to enjoy yourself and probably try and play some quarterback at some point, because who cares really? Because you play for the Raiders. That's kind of what it is. It's like more about what you are as in Vegas, not really the Raiders. So just, go out, have a good time.
Now, there's a couple other things I want to discuss before we move on. There's a situation going on with the Chargers. One of the best running backs in the league, Austin Eckler, wasn't able to work out a deal with the team. So now he's looking like he's requesting a trade from the San Diego Chargers.
Good for him.
Yeah, really.
I was going to say.
Really. That's one of the best running backs in the game.
I love Justin Herbert, and I think he is an amazing QB. But the issue over there isn't necessarily your players, your O-line, your D. It's the coaching staff.
Oh yeah,
coaching in front office.
Yeah. And Will, we got to talk about Lamar.
We're gonna talk about him in a minute. Patrick Peterson got stolen from the Vikings over to the Steelers. That's a big feather in the Steelers cap right there. Huge feather in their cap.
He's a 31-year-old.
As I said,
he is 31, but he's still serviceable, and probably goes to the second corner, and probably goes to the second corner spot on the depth chart.
I think he's still an all-pro. I'm not, but at the same time, like, he's not Patrick Peterson of 3 years ago.
Right.
Where it was like his Arizona days were actually like ones that people didn't really look at, but like he was on an island out there. That guy was a shutdown all day. Like, that dude was one of the best. And obviously early in his career did the punt returns, the kick returns. He was a returner. They're not going to let him do that anymore, but like, the dude's a stud. And at 31, that's not that old.
No. He'll be all right.
But he's lost his step. He's lost his step. It's not as big as it would have been 3 years ago.
He'll probably be the second corner on the Steelers depth chart. And the main thing I want to talk, we're gonna get into Lamar too. But the other thing I want to talk about, it looks to be that trade for Aaron Rodgers to the Jets is done. Three draft picks and Sauce Gardner over to the Packers.
Has that been confirmed? It has not been confirmed.
From everything that I've seen, from everything that I've read, the deal is done. But I agree with you, it hasn't been made official yet, but it's still crazy to me. I've
been listening to this because McAfee's been all in on it because Aaron's on his show, AJ Hawk is on his show, so he's been talking about it the last couple of weeks. Honestly, I kind of feel that with Aaron, the Jets are a Super Bowl contender. They've got they've got good targets. They've got one of the better defenses in the league.
Super Bowl wise, I don't know.
I don't know about
but
Super
like
Bowl.
I would definitely
Playoff
say
contender.
that. I mean, absolutely, that puts him in the playoffs.
Contender.
And that's just a crapshoot
at the very least.
Yeah, that's the Aaron Rodgers special. Get to the NFC Championship game and lose.
Yep,
I knew that was coming. I just
ain't
knew it
gonna
was
change.
coming.
Because he's going
Hey,
down. He's going down the same path Brett Favre went down.
Same exact
Same
path.
exact path.
Same exact.
All you gotta
Vikings.
do next is put him on the Vikings, and there you go.
Vikings, here we come.
Yep.
It's the
that's all you
A-Rod.
got
It's
to
the
do.
A-Rod train. Hey, Seven, I can't believe that you would talk shit on a man who has felt the hands of all of his ancestors wrap around him and appreciate every hand of every ancestor that he's ever had wrapped
Everyone-
around
my
him and told him
goodness.
how proud of them, proud of him that they were.
Real quick,
And-
Will,
and-
before we jump
and-
in.
Believe you would do that.
Go ahead, Joseph.
Headline of the night. I got to talk about it. I did talk about it later. One of the greatest of all time center for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jason Kelsey, did announce that he is returning this year. They were talking about it on Pat, saying that, I mean, he's technically a free agent and who could use him. And a lot of teams could. He's not leaving Philly. There's no fucking way.
That's that
There's
loyalty.
no
That's
way.
that loyalty right there.
How you
Well-
spell Jason Kelsey underneath your name looks like he's in a boy band. It's Jason
He-
Kelsey.
Nick
Kelsey.
Swarini has talked on
Kelsey.
1,000 times that he loves Jason. He thinks that he's the back. He is the backbone O-line. And I mean, they mentioned it today. The NFL is literally talking right now about banning a play because of Jason. The QB butt push for the QB sneak.
Oh yeah, that happened in the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Oh, it
It
no.
happens
Yeah,
everywhere.
They
but
talked about it
particularly
on their
Super Bowl.
show. 92. They say 92% of the time the QB sneak works all the time. It actually broke down to, for the Philadelphia Eagles this year, 93.3% of the time it worked.
That's a
Hey,
lot. Jalen Hurts.
That's a
though.
lot. That's a lot.
No, Jalen has been on that podcast and said none of that is me. It is literally Jason behind
He's being-
that is Jason
He's being
Kelsey.
humble. He's
Yeah,
being
That is
humble.
Jason
But
humble.
yeah,
Kelsey.
Yeah, he's being really
But it-
humble.
he's
I
being
don't
very
think it
humble.
is.
He's a 225-pound brick shithouse quarterback, dude. He can fucking run and he's
but
strong.
it's not that. It's that having that leverage behind him to literally just shove his ass
Well,
through that.
Right. I know what you're saying, but like I think we're giving a little bit too much. I mean, I think any center, probably top 10 center in the league, could probably do that same play if you had Jalen
No
Hurts.
one else has
Like
done
it makes it a
before.
lot easier.
This is the
Makes it a lot easier.
Eagles are the first team ever doing it. So
Not everybody's gonna do it. It's a copycat league.
Oh, yeah.
they
Everybody's gonna
tried.
do it now. It's
Teams
over now.
tried last year when Eagles were having so much success with it, and no one could pull it off like the Eagles.
What trying is there about it? Well, because they had Jalen Hurts, bro.
It's-
There's
I
like
mean, he ain't
I
like
don't
he a
think-
small dude. I mean,
in
it's not
that
like you.
position,
It's
I
not
don't
like
think it's
Kyler
'cause
Murray,
of
man.
Jalen
It's,
Hurts. I think it's because of Jason Kelsey.
I mean, it's
dude,
not
Jalen
like
Hurts
Kyler.
is a running back size. He's running back size.
Yeah.
Like he's like 6'1",
big man.
225. He's
That's a big
huge,
man.
dude, and he's super strong. Super strong. Like
Oh, yeah,
I
he-
think that
he squatted 660 pounds this past season.
he's a running back. He's a running back that plays quarterback who's a better quarterback. Like,
Yep.
but like he gets up behind. Yes, Jason Kelsey, I understand. They kind of coined that move, but now everybody knows it, and there's dudes who can do it. Like, there's dudes who can do it for sure, but like they're gonna take it out basically because that is kind of it's almost like the jumping over the center, the Belichick thing where he was having on the field goals.
Oh
The
yeah,
dudes jumped over the
I
center.
remember, yeah.
That's kind of what this is like. It's like one of those weird things that they just figure out. They're like, oh yeah, we can fucking do this. It makes it way easier. Like, and they just see it. They're like, ah, shit, we gotta shut that off. But
Last thing I want to
we gotta not have them do that.
Last thing I want to talk about before we go over into the NBA with Kendrick Perkins' dumbass. The whole situation with Lamar Jackson is killing me. It's killing me. Pay the freaking
Ravens
man.
did him dirty.
Pay the freaking man.
I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah. Me
And,
either.
and here's the thing. Actually, okay. Yes and no. Then here's what I'm going to say, because with the tender that they put on him,
It's not an
so that
answer.
these other teams can put a bid in.
Yep.
The Ravens understand that nobody is going to actually make a significant push to sign Lamar Jackson because they are relatively sure that regardless of the offer that they put, unless they significantly overpay for him, Baltimore is going to sign it, and they're going to be out that money for the week that it's going to take for everything to process, as far as that cap space is concerned. So
That's
it
fucking
puts any
interesting.
any team that makes an offer on him, well, because Baltimore has a week to respond,
Right.
they have to, they can't, that cap money's just is basically gone until they make a decision. And so that puts them, while they're waiting, if Baltimore signs it, they have to go back out and find a quarterback. They may not have the chance to get anybody. There may not be anybody significant available, so they're in an even more difficult position. So by Baltimore saying, all right, fine, let's see what everybody else pays you, they're going to end up getting closer to their number than to his, because of the fact that they're not that nobody's going to make any kind of a high offer for Lamar, because they're going to expect Baltimore to still be willing to sign it, because
They're
they don't
using him as bait. They're
Yep.
using him as bait.
Honestly,
they're leaving him, they're hanging him out to dry.
it's been said on multiple shows this week, Lamar and his mom have done a pretty good job for the most part.
He
at
needs an
this,
agent.
but it is time
Yeah, he needs
to
an
go
agent.
hire Mulligante.
He needs an agent for real.
Not just any agent. He needs to go hire Mulligante. Look at what he just got Peterson over there. Look at what, or not, I'm not, sorry, not Peterson. Who just went to Miami? Who were we just talking about?
Mike White.
Mike
No.
White.
Mike White.
No, it wasn't Mike White.
Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey.
No.
Yeah, true.
No.
Because
Oh,
all
yeah.
Jalen had said is he wanted to be in Miami. That's all he
Mm.
really cared about.
And he got it
It
done.
was Mulligante who got him that money.
He moved on.
I'm telling you, if there's probably one agent that could get this deal done and both sides be somewhat happy, because neither side is going to be fully happy. That's the man to do it. And I'm sorry, I commend Lamar and his mom, but in this system where these guys are used to doing it a certain way, you're
He
not
needs an
going to get
agent.
it done.
He needs an agent.
Yep, absolutely. Jose, my point on that exactly is that, okay, so not a long while ago, I needed a lawyer, okay? And I had my one from one state, and then I had my one that didn't practice in this state, or I didn't think so. And I asked him, and he was like, yeah, I can totally practice law in Nebraska, right? He's like, but I don't know how it works up there. Does that make sense? So he just said, like, basically, like, I don't know who pays who. I don't know who greases whose pocket. That's what it was, is what he was saying. And then that works the same with agents.
Yeah.
Agents know
agents
who
are
to
lawyers.
grease.
They're lawyers.
Agents are lawyers. Yes, they know who to grease. They know how to fucking get shit done, and you will walk away with it with a way better deal, just because they're just doing the little
In-
backroom things that we don't see, that we
And
don't get to see.
Honestly,
Mhm.
I'm not saying that Lamar and his mom need to step out. Just get Mulligante to curate.
Consult.
Yes,
Consult.
that's the word I'm looking for. That's the word.
Right.
Just
Right.
get
Yeah.
him to consult on it. Let Lamar and his mom do what they want to do. If they want to be the face of Lamar, that's fine. But having a guy, one of the best agents in the league, by far, just consulting, giving you advice, would make this a lot easier.
Pay him his $8,500 an hour and get you a good hour session in. Okay. Get you a good
Damn.
$8,500 hour session in to tell you what to do.
The thing that's killing me, the Falcons don't want to put on the bid. Come on, man. Really?
There's part of me,
Really?
there's a little part of me that feels
Get
like,
out of here with
and
that
I've
lie.
heard this multiple times. I feel like this is the NFL, all the teams kind of coming together and saying,
Collusion.
fuck guaranteed contracts.
It's collusion. At the end of the
Because of
day,
what happened with Deshaun, now the NFL's not wanting to do it.
that's a Cleveland Browns fault.
Yep.
But it's
That's
collusion.
100%
It's-
the Haslam's fault.
Yep, but it's complete collusion. And Atlanta Falcons,
Collusion
y'all
will
need to,
never be proven, but
and, Atlanta Falcons, y'all need to stop lying. Y'all know good and damn well y'all want Lamar. That'd be Michael Vick
Well, and
2.0.
not
That'd be
that,
Michael
I
Vick
don't agree,
2.0.
not that I don't agree with Seven, because I do. I think he ends up back at the Ravens. But here's the other thing. He doesn't have to sign that deal until week 10.
That's true
Week
too.
10.
That's true
So
too.
what's to say come week 2, 3, some teams have a QB go down and they're desperate.
Let's say Desmond Ritter gets hurt. He gets hurt. You got Lamar sitting right there. That's
I mean,
Michael Vick 2.0.
not to
It is.
Seven, not to put this juju on you, but let's say Pat Mahomes goes down. and it's gonna be out.
Don't you fucking talk
Don't
about
you
that.
dare say
And
that
it's gonna
about
be
Patrick
out
I'll
Mahomes.
smack that color
Don't you
right out your
dare-
head, Josie.
And it's
My
gonna be out.
stepson,
Don't
my
you
Dare
stepson.
say that about Patrick Mahomes. We don't
And
talk
it's
about
gonna
Patrick
be out
Mahomes like
6
that.
to 8 weeks.
We don't talk about Patrick
I'm
Mahomes like
just
that.
saying,
No,
right now,
Kansas City wouldn't. No, there's much. No, Kansas
Stop
City.
what you're
wouldn't.
saying.
I'm just using them as an example. But I'm
Don't
just
use an
saying,
example.
right now, he's not a huge commodity. But if he sits on this and doesn't sign it until week 10, he could be a commodity at some point.
He is a commodity right now.
I-
I think.
I
I think
right
we're all
now,
agreeing with that. Yeah.
I,
Here's
We're
the
all
thing.
agreeing
we
with that.
agree with you.
Here's
The
the thing.
NFL doesn't see it that way.
Here's the thing. He's true. He doesn't have a Super Bowl. They man got an MVP, on his
Unanimous MVP.
unanimous MVP
One of the
on his
only
mantelpiece
unanimous MVPs
right
ever.
now. Right
He's
now.
He's a
And-
top 12 NFL quarterback
And the Atlanta Falcons stop lying.
Are you talking
'Cause
all time or right
and
now?
I'm gonna keep
right now. In the
I'm gonna
league.
Right
keep-
now, he's
I'm gonna
not even
keep
top
up-
20 all time.
I
Sorry.
was gonna
I'm
say-
Not
I'm-
even
I'm-
top 500.
Who?
Sorry, 100.
He's
150.
top 50.
100. 100.
He's top 50.
No,
Who?
he's not.
Who you
No.
talking about?
Lamar
Lamar.
Jackson is not top 50 NFL quarterback of all
All
time.
time.
No, he's not. No, he's
All
not.
time.
He's 12 in the league right now, dude. He's 12 in the
QBs?
league right now.
He's a 12.
Of quarterbacks all time? Yes, he's way down there. Way down there.
Oh, he's way
He
down
isn't-
there.
He's not even in the conversation at this point. He
needs
hasn't even
some-
done anything to.
He needs some championships.
He needs a lot.
He
A
needs
lot.
a lot to be
The
best all
other,
time.
my other worry there is
Potential doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly.
My other worry there is I'm not sure he plays for the Ravens at the start of the season, and that rust is got to be building. He hasn't played at this point half of the season last year,
That's true.
and like
No.
it's the
He's a
same thing I'm
freak.
worried about with that dude coming back in Jacksonville. Like that's a lot of time off.
He'd be all right. Him and Calvin Ridley.
Cam?
I think both-
Calvin
I think
Ridley.
him and Calvin Ridley would be both all right.
Yeah.
I think they're
Oh,
both
they're
be
dude,
fine.
they're young, bro. They're young. They're staying in
Yeah.
shape. It's not like they're not staying in
It's
shape.
not like
They're-
it's an
they're-
old
they're in
veteran.
football shape.
It comes back to the same thing that we've said about wrestling, Dan. You can be in shape and you can be working out every day, but being field in shape, being
Right.
field ready is
Yeah.
different. Being game
Well, I-
ready is different.
You know, and we can't use the Deshaun Watson break as a reference for rest because he had a hard time getting massages while he wasn't with the team, so he wasn't able to stay loose.
Doo-doo-booch.
yeah, that was a good.
Josie, we would call that just in. Are you in shape? Or are you in football shape?
Right.
Yeah.
one. Right.
Are you in shape?
Right.
You in football shape? Because
Right.
there is two different things. A lot of these dudes they'll gain 10 pounds, and get a little bit of like literally just be like they'll be a little bit fat because like that takes impact a lot better than like if you're chiseled out. Like Tyreek Hill amazes me. He doesn't take very many hits because nobody can touch him. He runs out of bounds.
Right.
Like he's so chiseled, dude. Like I don't think that it's probably a good idea for him to be taking like a whole. He's a track star, man. He ain't supposed to be taking like a whole lot of contact because
Hey,
like
but I will say this. I
Tyreek
will-
Hill won the 60 meter
He did.
at,
this
at
weekend.
the US TFL
He did this weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Worlds this weekend.
Yep.
For the
Yeah.
men, won it.
But I think.
have you
but I think-
seen his
with a
fucking college track shit?
4.48.
But I think-
4.48.
But I think the
60
thing with
meters.
Lamar, I think he will be an Atlanta Falcon because I think they lying. I think it's all smoke screen. How many times we seen the team say that we're not interested? We're not
I feel
interested.
that
We're not
too,
interested in
and-
this.
With
think it'll be a Falcon.
what Atlanta was willing to put up for Deshaun, I don't believe that they're not interested. I don't believe that.
Yeah, I think the Falcons gonna be that team. That's Michael Vick 2.0. And you got Drake London
it
on
would
that
be.
team. You got a hell of a
exciting.
running game on that team. You got a good tight end when he's healthy on that team.
You have an awesome logo and a great stadium.
Yeah, and people will come see you, and people will
good-
come see, and people will come see you play.
Tony, good ownership with great tax incentives. Okay. A lot of great tax incentives in Atlanta. Good stadium, cool logo. Other than that, not a whole lot going on for him.
Well, you got
Not a
the running
whole lot
game. The
going on.
running game is good. Drake London is good. You got a good tight end. Now you do need help on defense. I ain't gonna say a lie. You need another receiver to benefit off Drake London.
They're
But-
beating Devontae into the ground.
Yeah, they are.
They're just making him their Barry Sanders.
Which is a
That
damn
dude's a
shame.
stud.
Which is a
that
damn
dude's
shame.
such
because
a
you're
stud,
good.
bro.
Yeah.
So as far as the tampering period, it's been a crazy one, and we've still got another day. Free agency
Before the league year starts on the 15th. Before the league starts on the 15th.
Yeah. So we're in the tampering period now, and I did want to clarify because I just found this out what that means.
Tampering. It's great. I'm sorry. I love it.
I wasn't sure what it meant as far as the NFL. So it means that this is the time when agents can contact other teams and start working out that deal and start kind of putting out the feelers and moving forward.
Right.
And then Wednesday is when everything is official.
All right, let's go ahead and move on over to the NBA. Let's go ahead and start bringing up the
Actually,
hardwood.
hey, Will, can we do wrestling real quick? Because then I got to bounce out.
I'm tickling your feet, Jesse.
Let's go.
Oh, stop tickling my feet. Stop.
I know. See? Footsie. It's not even...
It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me out. I won't stop till I win the crown.
What you got?
Well, we're 19 days from Mania. Hasn't been a whole lot of freaking news. I think this is the slower part of wrestling. Like nothing really happens till after Mania. John Cena returned last week. Is he dying? He's so red.
No, he's good. He's
I
good.
know,
It does it
please.
all the time.
Please
It's
don't
hilarious.
down
I
the
can
air.
hear it while
Please
looking
don't-
at it.
Please don't down the air. Oh my
He's
god.
so red.
Podcaster dies on air, film at 11. God damn.
No,
Hey,
he
we
just
had me have something go viral. Nah, I'm fine.
right. Count it. Hey,
We just don't want you to die, man.
count it. He's
No,
fine.
I am excited. Mania is shaping up to be an all right card. There's matches I'm not excited about, almost Lesnar. But they did They made the Edge Balor match. Kill called it. They made it a hell of a cell tonight.
Better be Demon
I'm
Balor.
excited for that. That's
Better
going to
be
be a hell of a
Demon
match.
Balor, damn it.
How do we
think
get him
so.
this live betting thing?
It better be the demon.
So
if
yeah,
if it ain't the
we
demon,
can
it
talk-
ain't worth it.
I don't think it's going to happen. And no, that's not true. I do think it's going to happen because WWE has that kind of pull. I do think it's going to happen. It's not going to last.
But getting back to the WrestleMania match itself, it's got to be Demon Balor. If it ain't Demon Balor, I ain't watching it.
Well, he in his promo tonight, he said, "I've been to hell and back, I've been to hell and it spit me back because it couldn't handle my demons." And I was just like, "Oh, we're gonna see Demon Balor."
It's got to be.
We
It's gotta
haven't
be.
seen it since the Judgment Day,
It's been a minute, yeah.
so it's been over a year.
And I cannot wait to see Rhea Ripley destroy Charlotte.
Is this an actual real demon?
This guy has a persona-
Poltergeist wise,
No,
Oh.
it's just Donald Trump in a costume.
Yep.
which kind of is a poltergeist. If I'm not, Get some help.
Costume.
get some help. Get some help.
That's too much.
Stop it. Get some help.
Donald Trump in a costume. But no, what it is that's a wrestler taking on a better persona than what his original persona is. Because I don't care what people say. Finn Balor by himself, on his own, great athlete, fantastic, but the demon puts him over so
But
much.
the demon is literally just for the match. He
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
promo
not gonna
as
be.
the
It's not gonna
demon.
be forever. It's not something he does
He
forever.
comes out just in that point.
Yep. He has a
as
whole new.
that.
He has a whole new entrance and everything for the demon. But after that match is over, he goes back to being Finn Balor. But as the demon, to me, yeah, that's the best of
Demon's
himself.
also undefeated, Will.
Yep, and lost.
So my
Oh.
question has been answered, but my actual question was that is this an actual poltergeist that we have to deal with
No.
on a
No.
third plane level?
No,
Guys,
But
God.
this
that's
ain't
all I had
Ghostbusters,
as
man.
far
Come
as
on, man.
wrestling.
don't cross
But
the
I did-
streams.
Will
This
jump-
ain't Ghostbusters.
That's far as I had as far as wrestling, but Will jumped out of NFL before I could talk XFL real quick. Not a whole
Yes.
lot I want to talk about. I did want to bring this up though. The Houston Roughnecks pulled off history in XFL this week. Pulled off the first 2 forward pass for a touchdown. They're calling this the Mike Leach.
Second and 3 for Houston. Silvers, they're going to look for a double pass. Downfield, wide open. Deontay Burnett, touchdown, Houston.
I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Fuck yes.
Orlando got some ugly ass uniforms.
No, they're so ugly. But yeah, no, I was
all behind
watching
the line of scrimmage. I'm for it.
Yeah.
Seven, I was watching that live, and it was so exciting. So exciting to watch. And that's what it is. They just can't have passed the line of scrimmage. They can throw 2 forward passes as long as they're not past the line of scrimmage.
Wait a minute.
I don't feel well about
Hold
this.
on, I
at
missed the
all.
comments. Hold on. I need to see your top.
I saw that. I said top 75. I see what he's saying.
your
Like
opinion?
100's
What's
a
your
stretch.
Issue with this, Dan, is that you don't have an issue with the entire XFL.
No. It's not with the XFL at all. This is with a rule within the sport of football that I have a fucking problem with. You're gonna give Andy Reid? Okay, so we're just gonna give Andy Reid 8 yards of shotgun snap. No. Let's go with this. Let's go with it for a second.
Even
He gets
though
8 yards of shotgun snap to throw it forward and backward. He can just throw wherever he wants. Doesn't fucking matter where it's going. If it's like
You would not be able to stop, and that's why I'm for it, because you would not be able to stop Andy Reid. Travis
It's
Kelce
a
would end the season
cheat.
with a better QBR than Lamar Jackson.
left, right, left, up, down, left, right. That's a fucking cheat code.
Like I say, man.
It's
That's,
a cheat code.
like I
The
say, man. There's some
XFL
ugly ass.
is-
There's some ugly ass uniforms, damn it. Them Orlando got some ugly ass uniforms.
Oh,
even though the XFL is testing out rules that we will eventually see in the NFL, I don't think
Not that one.
You'll go see
No,
that
it
one.
not that
won't
one.
happen.
That won't happen. That won't happen in that league.
Fucking
Hell
in
no.
my wettest
They're,
dreams. that
they're
it won't happen.
more likely to adopt the kickoff rule than anything else.
It's like giving a large hadron collider to a bunch of scientists.
But
It's like, what? And you would be like, what can I do now? I can throw it any direction behind the line of scrimmage. You'd be like, it would open up a whole new thing, like a whole new offense.
and Dan,
Oh, yeah.
Hill might finally get some positive passing yards, though. I mean, Will, you should be advocating for that rule too.
Dan,
Oh
I
my
think
gosh.
that I say this
Dan.
every week. The XFL is not the NFL. Never will be.
No,
We'll never pull in that kind of money.
No.
We'll never pull in that kind of viewers. But as an alternative, as something to watch right now when we don't have a lot of NFL going on, even though there's news, it's fun to watch.
I'm
Yeah.
not bagging on the XFL right now. I'm really not. I'm not trying to anyway.
No.
What I am doing is I'm bagging on the people who made that fucking rule and tried to put it in implementation. like I see it at a lower skill level. Like those guys are less skilled than the NFL. Like the minds that think about the guys playing on the field and the guys playing on the field are superior to those guys. I understand how, like, that's why trick plays work in high school all the time, because these guys are not preparing as much.
Why
They're not
is
as
the
athletic.
XFL any different than G League or the minor league baseball? Why?
I don't watch G League or minor league baseball either.
But I'm just saying
When they get
that's what they're trying to develop, is to have
Right.
that option.
it's just it is, and that's the thing is we have to be realistic and understanding that the XFL is the current iteration of the minor league for the NFL.
Right.
That's really all it is.
Right, that's
Now
all
we'll
it
have
is.
an even deeper discussion once arena football comes back. But I think
Oh
even
my
with
God,
the-
we're gonna have a huge discussion with that.
Well, I mean,
But-
you got USFL, who, as of right now, pulled in better numbers last season than the XFL is.
Right, and I think that the XFL numbers wise, I think I think the fact that we're in XFL 3.0 is actually hurting the numbers wise. People want to see some consistency before they really connect, and you also have and so
I think their second season will be bigger than this season. I think people
Absolutely.
are leery to get invested after what happened last leery to get invested after what happened last time. Because I know me and Will, you look back, me and Will last time 2.0, we were invested. Like we followed it for an entire year prior, and we're into everything. Me and Will both watched the draft, doing everything. Neither of us got that hooked into it this iteration.
Nope.
Because it's hard to when you were so invested into it and it failed. For no reason really than we had a pandemic.
Right.
We'll call that the only reason.
They were in line to make good money that year, Dan. You can say what you want. They were in line to make pretty good money.
They were starting off more successful than was expected.
And even that last year versus this year, that last year they had more notable superstars.
Yeah. But I think that's also comes back to what we were just saying. I think you might see more notable names in year 2 when players know that it's going to be around. And The Rock and Danny Garcia have said multiple times, it's not going anywhere. No matter how bad this season is, it's not going anywhere.
And I gave him a name, but Paul the Truth, I love watching him play.
You guys
I think he's still with the Carolina Panthers.
You guys are overlooking a really glaring fact right now. It's kind of a big hole in your story. Is the fact that the NFL already has a minor league, bro. It's called college football. That is their minor league. That is the perfect.
If you were talking that, so does baseball. So does basketball.
What do you mean?
But they all still have minor leagues. They
do. But what they aren't doing is changing the base rules of the game to offset the sport.
So they try out rules in minor leagues that are going to be tried in major leagues.
Not as influential as you can forward pass behind the line of scrimmage. I think you guys are.
The pitch.
You guys are.
So Dan, let me ask you this: if it wasn't for the rules changes of the XFL, would you have a problem with it?
I wouldn't have a problem with it. I just wouldn't watch it and wouldn't think it was interesting and wouldn't think it was near. Like, if it's going to be the minor.
But see, that's why I think the issue what Josie's trying to explain, because they did the rule changes to make it more interesting, try to bring the fans out. And I think that's why they're doing what they're doing.
They want a faster paced, higher scoring game.
Right.
They're already getting that. They're already getting that. And at some point, we're already at a tipping point with NFL rules with you can't touch anybody. Nobody can touch the quarterback. It's about to become flag football. And any more tip in the offensive direction is going to make it not very fun to watch, because literally it's just going to be both teams running up and down the field, and whoever can time out basically the last thing to score and make it 63-62 is going to be who wins. And everyone's going to be like, this isn't very fun anymore. It's like
63-62, don't you?
There's no resistance.
I don't see the two-pass rule going to the NFL. I don't think that's going to happen. That is something they put strictly in the NFL to make it more exciting. That's all that is. The ones I think you're going to see at some point is some version of the XFL's kickoff.
Josie, what are the ages?
The NFL wants to bring back the return. They want a more interesting return.
I think they just want to cut it out and make it. We start at 25.
Well,
I think that's what they're gonna do, because they're gonna crack under some weird pressure. Like, so okay, so what are the ages of the guys who play in minor league baseball? Usually like 18 to 23, right?
No, there are guys playing down there that are in their 30s.
Baseball's a little different. No. Listen, baseball, but there is a lot of the larger group is probably 18 to 23.
18 to 23, yes.
Okay, right, and exactly the same way with the NBA, 18-23 play in college. Those
G League.
See, that's the thing. If you need to go to the G League, you're probably not going to be a very good NBA player. Who's the last G League guy that made an All-Star team? Anybody know?
That's true.
Never?
That's true.
Oh, it's never happened? Imagine that.
It's never happened.
Mac McClung, for all the white guys.
No, that wasn't him. Because I thought the Lakers had somebody in the G League that but he just made the team. Okay.
He just made a team. Didn't make an All-Star game.
He made an All-Star game.
Because if you have to play in the G League, that means you're far behind your predecessors, your guys you played with at that time.
That's when they
That's
need to
they-
send
you
Ben
have to-
Simmons. Oh, did I say that? I'm sorry.
I'm not saying that you cannot be a productive player on an NBA team, but you're not in anywhere, probably not even starting. I don't think there's very many G League starters, guys who just play the G League to start. They're all glue guys, come off the bench, that kind of stuff. So like if you're not already established at the age of 22 at this point, especially in football, like football might take a little bit longer till you're 24, 25, but strength wise, you should be at that point already, is my whole thing. So like if you're going into a secondary league, that means you didn't get drafted. A lot of roster spots, not a whole lot to fill.
Every player, almost every single player has some kind of NFL experience.
But not consistent time on an NFL roster.
But I'm saying
because,
most of them have been drafted, just didn't
Yes.
stay on the teams.
Yes, those technically they
But-
wouldn't be playing the sport anymore. In
But
another
it's-
professional sport, they wouldn't be playing the sport anymore.
But here's the thing. They are also still getting an opportunity to play professional football. And then you also have the fact that we did see multiple players from XFL 2.0 that did get a shot
PJ
on
Walker.
NFL rosters and made a difference. PJ Walker and Taylor Heineke both. Just right off the top of my head, I know that there are others.
There's a couple
I-
of coaches right now in the NFL that were in the 2.0. XFL.
That's different. That's different. Coaching's different. We're not talking
Well,
about coaching. We're talking about
There's former
ability on the
NFL
field play.
coaches that are coaching in the XFL right now.
That's great. And great college coaches, Bob Stoops. Coaching is different, guys. Coaching is completely different. That's X's and O's. That's whole team attitudes. That's not physical. I'm talking about the ability to play on a professional sports
But
field.
Dan,
understand that.
Should
Well,
be established
Dan,
already.
But Dan,
And I
isn't
get
it
that,
still-
Dan, and I fully agree with you. None of these players are going to come off this team and be the next MVP next year. But it is giving the
Could.
NFL, it's giving these players another shot, possibly making it back.
And I'm totally for that. I'm totally for that. What I am saying is I'm not gonna start just don't consider it like any kind of competition with the NFL. Like it needs to not be competition. Like I know that you can see that. You can see that.
No. We're not
Guys.
saying that.
I know that you guys have conceded that. And I know that you guys understand that. But I think a lot of people see it as that because it's in the NFL's off season. It's in
Hell no.
I don't think
You
so.
don't think a lot of people
I don't think anybody is looking at the
I've-
XFL. One,
Yeah,
I've never
seen that.
it's a different type. Really, truly, to really enjoy the XFL, you've got to enjoy football. Because honestly, sometimes they get a little too in depth for me. Here,
You can look at some of these rosters. Most of these players have been cut.
and I mean, you hear literally every play call from the OC to the QB. Same thing on the defensive side. They're interviewing players like every break. It's if you're not a diehard fan, and really, I think the people they're really getting right now are the sports bettors because they live sports bet the entire game.
Yes. But
Hold on, I have a question about this live sports betting thing because there's something I don't understand with that. Because when I go into my app that I sports bet on legally, it's BetMGM. They're not sponsoring us, so
no need to explain yourself. No
if
need
you're
to explain
going
yourself.
if you're going to download BetMGM because I use it, send me $5 as well, please.
Give me a $5 boost.
And also
at
tweet
7.
at MGM telling them that they need to hire me as a spokesman.
Oh,
Dude, hey,
yeah.
I'll get a neck tat.
I when I go in, I can bet during games. Last year, I made half the money I won on baseball last year was because I was during games. It was like, oh, Boston's going to win the 4th inning, Yankees are going to win the 5th inning. And
Minute by
stuff
minute.
like that in game.
Yep.
So what is this that they're trying to develop as far as in-game betting goes? Because I've been doing that shit and I don't understand what the hell you're talking about.
The
can do
over
the NFL
under
too.
and the point spread constantly changes throughout the game.
Right.
Duh. Yeah, it does in the
You
NFL
can-
too.
You can bet on it at any point.
Yes,
Yeah.
you can do the NFL too. You bet on plays, bro. You can bet on where if it's gonna be a run
You-
inside, run
again,
outside.
It's not about them doing something different in the NFL. It's the fact that they do it live on the screen. The NFL doesn't do that. They're literally running the tickers on the screen and telling you this is a bad bet, this is a good bet. The NFL doesn't run betting tickers during their game.
So it's targeted towards.
okay. Okay, so they're changing the view to where they're targeting more towards the sports bettors than
Yes.
just okay.
Yes.
All right, now I
Makes
understand
sense.
what you're talking about. Thank
Like
Makes
literally during the game, the over/under before the game is always posted. Like one of the games this past week, the over/under was 44. It was the highest over/under this season. I think they ended up being at like 26 total.
you.
But it will literally change throughout the game. You can bet the whole time, and they're constantly updating it. They're constantly saying, okay, the over/under is now this, the point spread is now this, and they're literally running on the bottom of the screen is the different tickers.
Just I am a degenerate gambler, and like the point you have to get to be a real degenerate is betting on XFL games live as they're going on. Like that's got to be just like you and your buddy hanging out in a Philadelphia bar.
It was something like 100 million was bet on XFL games this weekend.
Yeah, they're
This
just.
is Dan.
It's
This
like
is Dan.
Keno. It's
This
like
is
Keno
Dan
with
when
humans.
This is Dan when they trying to get him from the casino.
FBI, open up!
Yeah.
That's Dan when
Dude,
they trying to get him
hey,
from the
bro, I
casino.
got really uneasy. I got really uneasy when you did that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Gave him some war flashbacks.
I got like really good. I got really uneasy, dude.
You reached
Damn
for
it,
the
oh,
gun
shit,
under his desk.
PTSD.
The only reason I didn't is because I know it's like, there's no way. That wouldn't be me. You're me, right?
making sure you get his weed.
I haven't been doing that kind of shit anymore. What the fuck?
No, Dan, you and I could have this discussion for hours. I do not believe, and I don't think anybody believes that the XFL, or that matter, the USFL, is going to give the NFL a run for its money ever. It's not going to happen.
No, it's just
Stay
gonna
in
be
your
something-
lane,
it's just gonna
XFL.
be- It's just going to it's just
It
going to
is just
pacify
an
the fans' need
alternative.
for
It is
football.
for those people. Some people want football year round. Some people want football to be like basketball and baseball.
Since when has Dwayne the Rock Johnson been one for kind of sitting back and being the minor league of something? When has he ever done that? Is he a minor league type of guy? Is he usually
It's
not very flashy?
But
What's so
he's
funny?
not opening this. He did not bring this up to take out the NFL. He brought this to give what he never had, a second chance in the NFL.
Because he wasn't good enough. He was a
I'm
much
not
better
saying he
wrestler.
wasn't. I'm just saying
He's a much better wrestler.
he's wanting to give a second chance. That's all it is. He's wanting to give these guys a second chance.
He got caught doing them fucking chick workouts too, Jesse. You know what I'm talking about? The shoulders and the buys and the tries. He wasn't doing enough legs. Honestly, let's be honest. All right. Dwayne Johnson skips
Damn,
leg
man.
day. Sometimes Dwayne Johnson skips leg day.
Hey,
It's all right.
I gotta say, he was
Sometimes.
rocking that pink tux last night at the Oscars. Rocking it.
I ain't watched that.
Loved
shit.
it. He's a great looking man.
I ain't watched that. shit.
He's
Hell, I'm gonna
just
watch
has
that.
no hair on his
Go
whole
watch
body.
the notes. We're talking about that on Wednesday.
He's like a 260-pound Charlie Villanueva. He's got like
Right.
see, nobody.
No, I don't believe that the XFL is ever going to take the NFL. I do believe that they're trying out new rules, and you will see coaches and some players in the NFL getting a second chance. I think AJ McCarron is going to get another shot off of this. He's having a pretty damn good season.
He's
I
not
am-
going to.
you
That's
are-
the thing is he won't start anywhere.
You
No,
are
I
making
feel
this
smart.
like I am just the hater on guys trying to get second chances in football, dude. Like I love it. I love it. What I'm saying is that it should never even be. It should stay in its lane. XFL, Rock Johnson, you stay in your
What do you
lane.
mean?
You're
What do you
the
mean
only
he's
one
staying in
that's
his
saying
lane?
it's
We're
not
sitting
staying-
here.
He just
How is
wanted
it-
to show a play.
They're
That's all
going.
want to do was show a play.
They're going after ad dollars, are they
And
not?
at the end of the day, the XFL is still football at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Tell them to
That's the thing.
focus. Tell them to focus their energy on getting better product in the NFL to then make those profit margins better, because nobody besides the degenerate gamblers Johnny and Tam down at the local pub are betting XFL play by play because they just want to, because they like to gamble all the
I mean
time.
that 100 million. That's $100 million in a weekend. That's a lot of money. I mean, it's not NFL money, but it's a lot of money.
Off of 4 games. 4 games.
Tam and your Uncle Johnny were fucking 118,000 of it. So they're going back and
All right.
forth.
Well, all right.
See?
Let's go.
Whatever.
We've beaten
All right.
the
Whatever,
XFL.
Will.
Dan's pissed me off. I'm out of here. Y'all have a good
Hey,
night.
no,
Later,
Josie, we need to talk about Will in his fantasy football league now on the air. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, go. Probably the best thing to do.
Fantasy football league. The hell?
Fantasy baseball. Get it right.
Fantasy baseball league. Sorry,
Oh,
it's
oh,
basketball.
oh,
Exactly.
I'm not going.
I read the whole thing. I'm not asking you to. I thought we were moving on. I got caught in the middle. Sorry.
I just want to say before I get out of here real quick, 7, that call in that college game was absolute horse shit.
We're going to be talking about that.
And don't get me wrong, the player was wrong in the way he acted, but the ump should have thrown him out before that goddamn pitch.
That ump got suspended indefinitely.
Hell yes. Hell
And
yes.
real quick, I got something for my boy 7 right here.
Man, if she
He's
just
no
lower
good
her
to us
standards
for
a
the
little
rest of the
bit.
night.
It kind of looks like there's a different lower body on her.
All right, y'all have a great night.
All right,
She
Josie.
looks like she looks like cocoa butter would taste if I ate cocoa butter.
So you've never just handfulled some cocoa butter and just
I
mean
mean,
because
like if
like
no.
they why would they put
just because
butter
it says
in the
cocoa
title?
in butter, I figured out that you're not supposed to do that without trying it. But I
Oh
think
my
like
gosh.
if cocoa butter was an actual like thing, like that's how it would taste. Is how Joy Taylor looks. And, it's fucking amazing.
All right, Dan. Real quick.
It
I
was
want
a
to
real
go ahead.
taste.
I want to go ahead and get into the hardwood.
Hey,
Help me make sense of this foolishness that Kendrick Perkins brought up on ESPN First Take.
see, Will, you don't know my policy yet.
I
Tony
don't
does because he has to
understand.
run the story. He has to run the stories. I don't actually read any of the stories until I'm on air, so that I can process them in real time and give you guys the most honest and the most really the most off the cuff sports answers. Okay, so fill me in on what Mr. Perkins would have said,
Are Will, and I want to make sure
because I know.
I haven't watched First Take in a few days, so I want to make sure I'm not missing. Are you talking about when Kendrick Perkins said that the MVP voters were racist?
Yup. Seven.
look on his
Answer me
face.
this: how does Perk still have a damn job?
Because
How?
ESPN was
I have a
like, man, this
theory.
is kind of some dumb shit. And then they looked at their bank account increasing because all of the views and all
He
of the
says
money
LeBron
that
a
they're
lot.
making from Kendrick Perkins saying what we can all agree
LeBron.
was some of the dumbest fucking shit.
The
And
dumbest
he's
shit
clearly
ever.
wrong.
In LeBron
Um,
James. LeBron. He says LeBron a lot.
You know, and then the ESPN saw the bank account balance increasing, looked over at Kendrick Perkins and said, carry the hell on.
They said carry on and put
And
more
then Molly
Afro
Karam had to come
Sheen in
back
that beard.
And then Molly Karam had to come back on that next day and do a retraction saying that Kendrick Perkins was incorrect about that panel. He's an idiot. Come on, man.
He's getting roasted in every form of media, and it's so
Dude.
goddamn funny.
The worst part of that is he makes her come on Molly the next day and do it. She has to recall it. Like,
That's because she has more credibility than he does right now. because he opens his fucking
Absolutely.
mouth.
absolutely. I'll put an arguable one up for you. I think Molly Karam has more fucking clout right now than Dan fucking
Orlovsky?
Orlovsky. Molly
I'm
Karam
saying
has
he's
more,
good.
I think
I'm
Molly
gonna
Karam
say
has
that.
more legitimate clout than
I ain't
Dan
gonna sit here in
Orlovsky.
front. I ain't gonna sit here in front. Molly is looking good. I ain't gonna sit here in front.
I think
Very
she's-
beautiful, but she's very good at what she does. She's
think she's
very
more knowledgeable.
about the thing that she covers. And yeah, I mean, come on. Even before this, who you gonna trust, Molly Karam or Kendrick fucking Perkins? Like, let's be real
Molly
here.
Karam.
I'm listening to Molly first. Molly or Dan? I'll listen to Dan on certain QB specific issues. Because obviously he knows he's been there. We can all joke about the safety and everything like that, but Dan Orlovsky knows the QB position. I'll give him respect there. But anything else? Molly Kieran.
Yeah, like anything else. Like not just NFL quarterback things. Like NFL quarterback things, Orlovsky, I'll fucking go to you. But like everything else is Molly Kieran. Everything else. Everything
Like
else.
honestly, like for me, like if I was thinking about this the other day, if ESPN truly wanted to create something that was going to compete with Undisputed,
Yeah.
they would have Stephen A. and Molly Kieran going back and forth. That's it. That's it. You bring in a moderator. Obviously you go with the format. You have a moderator of some kind. Maybe that's what Dan Orlovsky gets to do to keep his job. Because I mean, he went through enough of being in Detroit.
And not knowing Tony, and not knowing the sport either. The women don't know that they never got a chance to play the sport. So like that's weird too, right? Like Mina Kimes and her like actually understand it, which is like fucking amazing, dude. They never played it.
I like their takes, and that's the thing. And like Kay Adams, when she was on the NFL Network, absolutely love her takes. I thought she was great.
Yep.
But if ESPN truly wanted to make something that was competitive with Undisputed, it would be Stephen A. and Molly Kieran, hands down.
Yeah,
I bet that is a show that people could fervently enjoy because they're not going to argue in the same way that we see Skip and Shannon argue. They're going to have an intense discussion that people that are appreciative of the format and the method would be able to enjoy without having to be annoyed because Skip Bayless just disrespected Shannon Sharp again.
Right.
Even they're not going to disrespect Molly Kieran. I mean, Molly Kieran's not going to disrespect Stephen A.
Right.
The internet will roast Stephen A. enough for her. She doesn't need to.
She don't need to do it.
So, and I respect Molly enough that I would rather see her in that debate chair than in that moderator spot. That's why I put Dan Orlovsky there. And, the last hour, bring in Kendrick Perkins for something on basketball that you're circling back to, like Undisputed sometime does with different people. Like I've had Eddie House on a couple times recently. I think you have a better. I think you have a better competitive product for the slot,
right,
than what they are delivering now with First Take.
All right, let me ask you this. As Dan stepped away for just a second. I'll bring this up right here. We got the Golden State Warriors over the Phoenix Suns 75-58. What have you heard about Kevin Durant? Is he actually out for the season? Because I haven't heard if he is or if he isn't. He is
Everything looks right now. Everything is being treated right now like he's out for the season.
Okay.
He left in a walking boot that night. And I think Phoenix is still going to be in the playoffs. So I think what this does is this ends up putting Phoenix more on the road on their in playing from a lower seed than playing from a higher position. But with how stacked it is at the top of the count, at the top of the list, and how many wins separate, I don't think it's really going to be that big of a deal. They're going to be playing teams they would have seen anyway just earlier. And they'll get the tests out of the way, and they can be the underdog. Phoenix likes being the underdog. So as much as I wish,
always have been.
Yeah, because they always have been. But Phoenix is, as of right now, my understanding, everything that I've seen through the insiders on Twitter, stuff like that, it is looking like we're probably not going to see KD before the end of the season. Okay.
Into the regular season or into the season as a whole?
Regular season, sorry.
Okay. That's okay. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. Why? You don't need him for the rest of the regular season. Let that motherfucker sit out.
The only thing I'm going to argue with that is, now, does Phoenix need him to be in the playoffs? No. But the reason why I would prefer that he was there was it gives them the ability to build up more chemistry before they get into the playoffs, so that they can work better together. That's my only thing.
I'm going to stop you there. Normally that statement makes complete sense, and I completely agree with it. With KD, dude, you don't need chemistry. You don't need anything other than KD being on the floor because, dude, he is the ultimate plug and play. He's the ultimate plug and play, dude. He should
That's
be
fair.
on a different team every year trying to win a title
Yeah.
because he
That is fair.
he passes well for real though. He passes the ball very well. He gets rid of it when he has to. He's so smart about every single decision that he makes. He's efficient. He shoots 90% from the free throw line. He shoots like 55% from the field and 40% from three. What more can you ask at this point out of just a guy who's going to touch it, get a couple of dribbles in, and pull up at 7 feet tall? Dude, he's plug and play like a motherfucker. You do not need him to play the rest of the regular season.
And that's the thing. That's the thing. There are worse situations that Phoenix could be in right now. Phoenix is still not burned in that trade. So let me be clear. Phoenix is still not burned in that trade because we still have Kevin Bleepa Durant. As Skip Bayless likes to say.
Tony,
But
who was saying that they were burned in that trade already?
I've seen a couple.
Oh my!
There were people like in one of the Phoenix Suns groups that I'm in. There were fans that were starting to feel like, is this already a bad idea? There were Nets fans that were mocking the trade, saying that Phoenix was going to get stiffed because of the injuries, and so I've seen it a little bit. Now I haven't seen anything from like actual credible analysts saying anything like that. So I'll clarify that statement.
Right.
But the discussions are out there, and I just will say that if you happen to come
Good
across
God,
someone
man.
saying that, they're a fucking idiot.
They don't understand what is going on in reality, or
Nope.
But
Nope.
I think you're right. I think he is plug and play, and I think that he can. I just would like to see him have that time. I know he doesn't need to
course
be
you
able to
would.
be efficient, but I would have liked to have seen him get that time.
That's not
Let me
optimal.
see.
Yeah.
Let me switch gears real quick. There's a game going on right now. I want to talk about. We got the Bucks versus the Kings. Bucks up by 77 to 76. In the third quarter with 4 minutes 41 seconds to go. I asked this in a group chat. I'm gonna ask it again. Are the Sacramento Kings for real?
We just lost. No. You've asked on this show before, Will.
They're third right now in the West.
Yeah, like it doesn't, there's nothing. Okay, so DeMontis Sabonis is a stud. Okay.
Mhm.
De'Aaron Fox is a stud. They have a 1-2 that's comparable to the 5th or 6th, probably best 1-2 in the West, right? That's not, but you don't win playoff series with the 5th or 6th best 1-2 in the West. Like there's nothing else. Like that team is so young. Like they're going to play different night to night. It's going to be a complete crapshoot to whatever is going on. They just don't have any experience like that. It does matter in the NBA. It's weird. Like these vets learn.
But Mike Brown is coaching his ass off.
He is. Mike Brown should win Coach of the Year for sure. Yeah. I don't think there's even a. And I know LeBron just said that. I just read LeBron just said that, but like I was already thinking that for real. Like I was like, hey, me and LeBron on the same wavelength. Tony, did you hear that? We're thinking the same things at the same time.
It's scary.
It is scary. I've connected myself with his aura from 2,000 miles away, 2,100 miles away.
Yeah, aura.
He used a lot of machines, line it up correctly. No,
but I'm just saying I'm starting to believe
in the Kings.
Kings,
yes, I'm starting to believe.
Yeah, that's.
Well, notice. I want you to take note here, and I know that you know this. Early 2000s Kings: Chris Webber, Vlade Divac. Okay,
Look, I'm not saying championship.
Doug Christie, Mike Bibby. That's the exact level that they're at right now. Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox are a great start to that Weber Bibby thing. Okay, so that was like what started it, and then they all started like kind of playing in that mindset, and they became much better, right? So like Doug Christie, and who was the fourth? It would have been the fifth guy there. It was Doug Christie, Mike Bibby, Chris Webber, Vlade Divac, and then the fifth guy was who? He would have been a small forward or a shooting guard. Small forward or shooting guard.
That dude.
Christie was the shooting guard, so it would have been a small
Christie
forward.
was a shooting guard.
Was it Hito?
It might have
No.
been him. No.
Hito Turkoglu or Peja? It was Peja
It might have been
Stojakovic.
Peja Stojakovic. Yeah,
It was Peja
yeah.
Stojakovic. That lineup was fucking dirty, dude.
Yeah.
That's a dirty old school lineup.
And-
Like
and
did
I'm
never
not
win
saying-
anything.
And I'm not saying championship, but I'm just saying get a first round playoff win.
Yeah, I'm not saying they're at the level of that fucking Kings team because that Kings team should have won. That Kings team ran into the fucking early 2000s Lakers and it
Mhm.
fucking derailed their entire. That was the Kings like shot. Like that was the shot, and the Lakers being the force that they were in the NBA at that time just suppressed teams. Like just suppressed them down to like the Kings win a fucking title probably in any other era than that little fucking tiny little time span right there.
Yep.
They just really bad timing.
Can't get
like,
past the Lakers.
but yeah, no, because like they didn't have anybody. Weber, like they moved the ball really well. They had that Mike D'Antoni kind of feel to them, but like they just couldn't. It was just like they just you can't run into Shaq and Kobe running a triangle like just ISO and that decade of the NBA's. It was unstoppable. It's unstoppable. So that just kind of sucks. I wish Weber would have got one. You know?
Yeah, me too.
I wish Sebo would have got one. And Vlade. I love the
Yeah.
Vlade D-Butts.
Yeah.
Hey, Will, I kind of struck out and collected Mike Bibby cards when he was a rookie. Oof. I mean, I was like 8, but you know, I was like, yeah, Mike Bibby, I'm in on that guy.
Bibby was all
Didn't
right
end up panning out. He was
Bibby was all right now.
he was, but all
was
right
right.
don't get you
Yeah,
all right don't get you
will win no
$2,000 cards
championship.
in the future. Yeah.
Facts.
I needed to be betting on me some Allen Iverson and some Kobe. I should have just been doing Kobe the whole time.
Yeah.
The whole time. Just rookies, Kobe rookies. Whatever Kobe rookies you got, I'm taking. Because those things went crazy.
All right, let's go ahead and finish up with the 7th inning stretch with 7. Let's go.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints.
All right, 7, what you got, my man?
World Baseball Classic is in effect. Everything is going, a lot of games going on right now. Some teams, not surprising that they are not really having the best of luck. Other teams, it is not surprising that they are getting, that they are finding significant success. The right now, currently, the World Baseball Classic game that is going, the United States is playing Canada in pool play, and the score is currently 12-1.
12-1.
In favor of the United States. Let's see.
Jim Carrey hits lead off.
Let's see. We have home runs by which Turner is that? Trey Turner.
Real Muto, can I call it?
Mike Trout both had home runs. TJ Anderson hit a triple, and so did Carlos Mullins. Nolan Arenado
Cedric.
hit a double, and so did Paul Goldschmidt.
Imagine that. What, Tony? Paul Goldschmidt doubled. What? That's a rare occurrence. That is a rare major league occurrence, guys. That Paul Goldschmidt's a double because he only does it every fucking other time he's at bat. Only every other time that he's betting. It's like he'll take one off and then it's a double. Take one off and it's a double. He's a fucking machine.
He is such a good gap hitter. And keep in mind, with the World Baseball Classic games, none of the rule changes that we're going to see here in effect. No pitch clock. The base size is normal. The shift is whatever the hell you want, chaos. But you have – go ahead.
Did you see the numbers on it? Like the dude had the numbers broken down to like normal gap in the infield hits and stuff. Like that basically averaged raised about 30 points on infield stuff. So like you just can't shift. Obviously, it takes away a lot of the, guys got to run a lot over the ball. Basically, so it ended up being basically, long story short, that it was less time, more offense. Just by the littlest bits though. Like they didn't take like a whole huge, they didn't like crank it up to 11. But they kind of just shifted a little bit. So it's like average game went down from like 3 hours and 10 minutes to like 2 hours and a half. Right. And then hits, I think average went up like 15 or 20 points. And that was just on like infield stuff. Like wasn't that much. So, right. I mean, I went
to a spring training game on Friday. It was the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs. I've actually got the shirt, Cubs logo. Really nice hat too that I got, a New Era stretch fit hat, Cubs hat. That was I got it in the team store.
Hey, Will.
Very,
Wish you could
very
go back
nice.
in time, put some money on the Cubbies.
I know, right?
Name that quote. Wish I could go back in time, put some money on the Cubbies. Back to the Future 2.
You
Back to the
should've.
Future 2.
And it was very interesting because I got to see the new changes in full effect. Now, from the fans' perspective, the size of the base doesn't honestly look very different. I don't think that's going to have as much of an effect as they expected. The no shift thing was interesting because there was a couple of times I was like, oh, are they going to shift? Because I could see who was coming up and
Right.
nobody moved. I was like, oh, wait. And there was a lot more hits, a lot more players left on base, though.
Yeah.
And the pitch clock was the most interesting thing for me because my theory was correct in that this actually has more of an impact on batters than it does on pitchers. Pitchers would like to be in a rhythm and like to get as much out of their arm while it's warm and in a good position as possible. But batters were forced to, all right, let's get moving, get shit done. Because you got 30 seconds before the first pitch and then 20 seconds for each pitch after that. With 8 seconds left on the pitch clock, the batter has to be in the box facing the pitcher. And the game started at 1:05. At 3:30, I was on the phone with Martha in the car.
Right.
And it went the full 9 because the Cubs were I was at the Cubs park. It was so the Cubs were home and they went into the 9th inning down 4-3. So it was the full 9 innings and we were out in 2.5 hours.
That's pretty, like, you saw like a base standard what they're trying to go for, right? You got 7 runs, you got a little bit of offense, right? You got a quick game, you got it all the way through. And like with your batters pitchers thing, who is going to affect more? I think that the batters, a lot of those guys step out and shit, dude. They're gonna have to completely redo their they're just gonna have to stay in sometime. Like either figure out to stay in or you're gonna step out a couple of things. And like I feel like the batters were way more like walkie and shit than the pitchers were. Like, so the pitchers just turned around and said, like, hey, just chill out for a second, maybe pack the rosin bag on my hand real quick and then get back in there. Like they're not gonna, I don't think they're gonna have to adjust. I completely agree with you. I don't think they're gonna have to adjust as much as like batters who are stepping out and doing weird shit, like trying to like, like digging holes with their back foot and stuff like that. Like that's not like, you got to just go like dig your fucking hole and then just put a step out. So you don't, like you used to do. That's like high school style. Like where you don't step out of the box.
Maybe tap your cleats if you need to, whatever. A couple of quick swings.
But my question is to you is like, that could help batters too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know Giancarlo Stanton, I got his jersey on right now. Giancarlo Stanton's gonna love that because Giancarlo Stanton, this is what this motherfucker does. He stands up there all weird and shit, all fucking weird footed and stuff. Like, I'm gonna hack at this ball, like I'm just gonna hit as hard as I can. And then he steps out for like fucking 5-10 seconds. He's stepping out, he's walking all around the place, has no routine at all. And like he's been standing in the box, and I think that'll help batters like him. You know what I'm saying? Like guys who get in their own heads a lot, like that'll help those dudes just go. Like this is just hitting the ball, dude. You've been doing it forever.
Yeah. And that's the thing is I think that I'm really frustrated with the criticism on the pitch clock because I've loved baseball since I was a kid, but I really think that the pitch clock is a great idea because it forces the game to keep a consistent pace. Yes, baseball is slow. Baseball was still slow, and it was a 2.5-hour game as opposed to a 3-hour and 15-minute game. And that was the difference between me getting out of, because it was a day game, I was able to get out of the park and miss the worst of rush hour to get home, which was better for me. I ended up going out that night, having a drink with Martha. So I actually got a decent experience out of my day. And the fact that I got to interview a couple of Cubbies. We'll have to be talking about that when the Diamond Report comes back. But I got to have a really good experience over the course of that day. And the game didn't take up too much of it.
That's a really good point. people like just doing it quickly. Like just they can do it and then they can do something else in their day. Because when you think about a baseball game at this or previously, it was like, yeah, that's like a whole thing. Like
It's a
6:30.
day.
I'm going to like 10. Yeah, like we're gonna be there at 5. It's gonna take until 11 p.m. Like this is a whole thing. And now you can like go to like a movie. It's like a
or
a quicker thing.
Like going to a movie. Or think about this, especially because you know you have the Royals that are looking at moving their park more downtown. A lot of teams today, their parks are more centrally located than on the edge of town. And so what you have is around those parks, you have a lot of businesses that rely on that baseball business.
Yep.
But now it's not just before the game that they can rely on that baseball business. You have more things after. So you have venues that can actually book bands and sell tickets instead of just, hey, we're going to have karaoke, or hey, we're just going to have the, touch tunes and mingle, whatever. They can actually have more of an event of their own. Or, it's not just strip clubs in the areas that are going to say, when you bring in an event ticket, you get in for free.
Let's not take away them strip clubs.
We need more.
I'm not saying we're going to take away the strip clubs. I'm just saying it won't be just the strip clubs doing it.
We need an Asian one.
For the young children, let's not put them in the strip clubs.
We need an Asian one.
So I am staunchly in favor of the pitch clock as a good change in baseball. And I think that as the season develops and fans start to really experience the difference in the pace in the game and how it felt, I think that it will be a more well received. And so while I understand that people just don't want it to change. Baseball is so old. Everybody's going to be set in their ways. Yes. We also used to not let black people pay, and that worked out fine.
Old white guys don't want it to change.
Let's go ahead.
White guys don't want it to change.
Yeah. It's a white.
Just so we're clear.
Let's go ahead and let the game evolve some more and get to some consistency, because you're going to be able to benefit the entire situation. And you're going to sell more tickets, because people in our generation and younger generations aren't going to feel like it's an all-day event to watch a slow-paced thing.
Amen.
It's part of a day where they get entertained. Holy shit, sports is for entertainment. Professional sports is for entertainment. Go, oh my fucking God.
Really?
Shiny.
And then they can go do other things and spend more money in their cities, which helps the economic impact of that team. So the tax breaks and all of those other things are more favorable for those motherfuckers because of the impact that the city's getting. They're getting the money elsewhere.
We're also a ton about proximity. We like to just be like next to the thing that we're about to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like,
exactly.
Yeah, we're just right across the street. Like like if you just put the bars and things and all the entertainment close to the ballpark, then you get people to go to the ballpark and vice versa. After they're done with the ballpark, hey, here's the bar. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just it's gonna symbiotically.
It is so much fucking better, because now, like, especially for evening games, and that's what I'm talking about. If you have a 7 p.m. game and you're a business around baseball, you're counting around the business before, but you're gonna be fucking dead from 7:30 or from like 7:30 to 8 o'clock on. You're just nothing. You might as well close early.
Yep.
Because you know that game ain't ended before 10 o'clock.
Yep.
But now you got 9:30. Prime
now
time.
It's a 9:30. You can expect a 9:30 to 10 o'clock end. Okay, I've got a band that's going to kick off a 1.5 hour set at 10:30. $10 tickets, free if you have an event ticket from the game.
Good to go.
Because midnight's the general cutoff time for like
right.
That's kind of where they would go as far as like normal people where they would stay out to. Yeah.
Normal venues, your cutoff time is midnight to 1 in most areas, especially because you want to have time to get the crowd wound down and get them out before last call. So that's what I'm saying. An hour and a half set, 2 hours, something like that. Maybe 2 hours if you're feeling squirrely, but it's better it's better for everybody with this change, and I 100% support it.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Will he ain't got to worry about that when he moves to Kansas? There'll just be a lot of wind. He'll get out and be like, not many people around here. Lots of wind though.
I'm actually thinking Oklahoma City, because I'd at least like tornadoes with my wind.
You should go Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Do they have any Asian strip?
People from Oklahoma
and there's more Indian
notoriously
gambling in Oklahoma City.
Do they have any Asian strip clubs in Oklahoma?
It's a lot of
Well,
gambling.
I'll
in
find
Kansas,
you one.
too.
I'll make sure I got one of mine when you come visit, man. But no,
I
like
You mean
legit-
Oklahoma, the new Tokyo?
Oh, okay. No, listen, I shit you not. Home prices in Oklahoma City are so cheap. You can get an 1,800 square foot house, like in a decent part of town, for less than 120 grand.
Damn.
That's like small.
That's a
It's like
cheap
small
fucking
town
mortgage.
price.
Yeah,
That's a small town
exactly.
price.
there.
I
Yeah.
because with what I do sell in home insurance, like I've been talking about OKC customers, and I'm seeing all of these houses go for like 80 to 100 grand. Nice house, 120, 150. I'm just like, fuck, I'm moving there.
We haven't got real estate price jumps yet here in the Midwest. it's a slow process. Takes us about 7 years afterwards. Like, for instance, I just saw the last Hobbit movie. Just saw it. You know what I'm saying? Like, just got
It was
here.
just in theaters in this small town.
It was just, well, I don't even have a theater. I have to go to a different state to see a theater, but like it came out on digital, right? Just now. So I just saw the last Hobbit movie. Hopefully that wasn't too long ago. If you guys
Time
know
warp.
anything about it, don't tell
Time
me.
warp.
Don't, no fucking,
Time warp.
no spoilers on this show because I don't see anything until at least 4 to 5 years after it's come out. It is
What did you say? Did you actually say no spoilers?
no spoilers. Will, do
None?
not tell.
I mean-
If a fucking Avenger dies, dude, do not fucking tell me. Very into those movies. I think
Spoilers?
they're very
I-
deep.
There are two things that I consider to be cardinal sins above all else in the internet world. Number one, somebody sends you a nude, don't fucking forward that to anybody else. Number two, if you share spoilers without warning people, you're a piece of shit. You should also get your dick cut off. And
Dude,
if you're a female, your tits should be cut off.
somebody told me that Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze. I'm not joking, dude. I'm not fucking joking. And then I knew, like, it had happened like years before that. But when I watched the movie, I fucking knew it. I was like, he's just the main guy, dude. I was like, it's the fucking main dude. Fuck that whole movie out for me. I would have loved it. That like twist would have been like the only thing that was cool about it. I would have never watched it again. And I get fucking somebody just says that out loud. I'm just gonna start walking into bars and be like,
Stop
"Hey, Kevin
it.
Spacey is Kaiser
Get some
Soze.
help.
Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze." Just to everybody. If you're listening right now, Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Soze.
Boston
Stepped
did
up, Will.
announce today that Justin Turner, they are on track for him to be back to this for the start of the season. For those of you that don't know, Justin Turner took a very bad pitch to the face last week that included where he did get 16 stitches in his face. No fractures, though, and that's why he will be back so soon.
Cool.
I hear that would that be called a ginger ball? Not a bean ball, it'd be called a ginger ball.
I think that's a manly
on-
facial is what it's called.
And on that note,
Did his
Yeah,
freckles leave?
and on that
I don't think he got
note-
hit that hard.
And
His
on
wife
that,
is super hot though.
and on that note,
Will, I
wanna
know you're
say-
trying to close. I'm just gonna keep saying shit.
And on that note, I want to say thank you for everybody coming through. Thank you for
Now Will's
everybody
dragging
coming
it out
through.
with the clap.
Thank you for everybody coming through in the chat. I do appreciate it. It's going on 2 hours. I ain't got no time to be talking about no damn freckles. Falling off for a baseball pitch.
Justin Turner's
He's-
freckles got smacked off his face.
He's trying to get, he's waiting. He's on the wait list for AsiansOnly.com and he wants to get back to check his email to see if he got invited yet. You're taking up that time.
I'm trying
You
to see
don't
if I
have to be lonely
try-
at
Listen,
AsiansOnly.com.
I'm trying to make sure I get in the room, man. I'm trying to make sure I get in the room.
Just man,
There's
I'm
a
telling-
nice one in there by the name of Jenny Babbitts. Look her up. She is bad.
I'm telling you, man, just go sit at a Chinese buffet and hit on the waitresses until it works. Just you get some good food. They might bring you some. You know, they're always on top of it, bringing you the tea. Like you take a drink, you put your cup down, they're ready right there with the pitcher to fill it back up. It's the most
Facts.
amazing service. So
Facts.
you just got to sit there and wait. One of them is going to be single. Statistically, time is on your side. Just wait it out. Get some good Chinese food in the process.
if
You'll be all right.
if I was
Oh,
going to
my
be that
goodness.
guy, Will, and go slightly less racist, I'd say go to a math competition. Go to a math competition and just whoever's in the actual math competition will be the one you're after. Those will be the ones.
Arrested. Most of these people in math competitions are underaged.
I didn't mean like that. I mean like an adult math competition. They have those, right? I don't
damn
know,
adult
but,
math
maybe not.
Are there
Most people probably did think kids
hold on.
math competition. I meant like a grown-up
right,
one.
because I have never seen an adult math competition.
I ain't never seen that before.
I'm sure in back alleys there's adult math competitions.
It's called MIT. It's called MIT, Tony. All right, those are adult math competitions.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough. Like,
fair enough.
yeah.
So
I
maybe
gotta
go
go-
to Boston.
So I got to go on campus. Okay.
Or is that like when MIT, Harvard, and Yale get together and make fun of Boston College? Is that what that
Absolutely, for not being an Ivy League school, they're like, no Ivy League, man, good man. Get to one of those parties, Will. That's where you're gonna find a lot of the women you're looking for.
Oh my god.
Man, their IQs are less than 140. Man,
Oh my gosh. On that note, let's get the hell up out of here. Thank you for everybody for tuning in to this edition of the Sports Report podcast. We'll be back here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel.
do your
But-
girlfriends make you feel dumb sometimes? Just sometimes.
just run the buffer. Just run the buffer.
He keeps listening to me like it's gonna like something better is gonna happen.
Just run the buffer.
I want to meet your girlfriend still. We didn't get that fucking thing. Oh shit, so she's gonna be on the show. Not on the show.
Even when you feel low, you can still go. Even when you feel slow, you can still go.